For 200 years, Queen Elzara ruled the planet Trex. She was powerful, cold, strong. Her skin was silver blue. Her eyes glowed like ice. She didn't need love. She didn't need kindness. She needed control, power, silence, but deep inside. The Queen's heart. There was a wound. For many years she tried to hide it, even from herself. The truth? She could not have children. Her body, her blood, her DNA, all failed. Doctors from every system tried. Technology, magic, science, all failed. The Queen, the ruler of 1,000,000 warriors, was barren. And in her world, a queen who cannot give birth is a queen without a future. One day, something strange happened. A burning light crossed the sky. A ship, broken, damaged, crashed into the forest of REX. Inside the wreck was a strange creature. It was soft, weak, small, a human. He was the only one alive. The Queen's guards brought him to the palace. They chained him, scanned him, questioned him. He said his name was Ailey. He spoke softly. His voice was calm. He was not afraid. Even in front of the Queen, Elzara stood before him, tall and glowing. But when she looked into his eyes, she felt something strange, a warmth, a pull, like gravity, like fate. The palace doctors began to study the human. His body was simple, but something was strange. His blood gave off an energy, soft but powerful, a life energy. The Queen walked closer to him. Her heart, usually cold and still, began to beat faster. She touched his hand. Small spark ran through her skin. She pulled back, shocked. No one saw it, but she felt it. Her body responded. For the first time in 200 years, that night, Queen Elzara couldn't sleep. In her dreams, she saw Eli, but he was different. He stood under a blue sky. Flowers bloomed around him. Children laughed behind him. Was this his world? Was this Earth? The next day, she ordered more tests. Her personal healers scanned her body. The results were impossible. Something inside her had changed. Cells were moving, waking up, repairing. The healer looked at her, eyes wide. "Your womb," he said softly. "It's alive again." The Queen didn't speak. She only looked at Eli, sitting quietly in his cell. Could it be him? Had this strange, soft creature done the impossible? She visited him again. This time no guards. "Tell me, human," she said. "What are you?" Eli looked up. His eyes were tired, but kind. "I'm just a man," he said. The Queen stepped closer. "Then why?" She whispered. "Does my body come alive when you're near?" Eli didn't know what to say, but he felt it too, a strange bond between them. The council began to whisper. They saw the Queen's glow returning. They saw her walking alone, smiling. They feared change. They feared weakness. A queen in love? Impossible. Unacceptable. But Elzara didn't care. For the first time in her long life, she felt something more powerful than command. She felt hope. Maybe, just maybe, she could be a mother. Maybe this human wasn't a curse, but a miracle. But deep in the shadows of the palace, others watched. Jealous. Angry, afraid, and they would do anything to stop the Queen's bloodline, even if it meant killing the human. The Queen was dreaming again, but this time it wasn't her dream. It was his. She stood in a strange place. The sky was blue, the ground soft and green. She could hear waves, birds, laughter. Children. Then she saw him, the human named Eli. He turned to her and smiled. "You don't belong here," he said, but his voice wasn't angry. It was gentle. She reached out to touch him, and the dream shattered like glass. Queen Elzara opened her eyes, gasping. Her skin was warm. Her heart was beating too fast. That was the third dream this week. Each time she saw his world. Each time she woke up feeling Alive. But how? Why? It was time for answers. She ordered her personal healer to begin full testing. Not on her, but on him. Eli, the human, was taken from the holding chamber. He didn't fight. He didn't speak, but his eyes watched everything. Calm, quiet, careful. The alien scientists placed him inside a scanning pod. Light passed through his skin. Waves of sound echoed in his bones. Machines read his blood, and what they found shocked them. His cells gave off life energy, something never seen before in Trek's history. Not radiation. Not magic, something pure, almost like creation itself. One scientist whispered, "He's like a living spark." Another said, "His DNA. It sings." The Queen watched silently. She didn't show emotion. But inside, something was growing. Fire, a question. Was he a miracle or a threat? Later that night, the Queen returned to her private chamber. She looked into the mirror. Her skin glowed slightly. Her eyes were no longer cold. She placed her hand on her stomach, and she felt it. A pulse, not her heartbeat. Something deeper. Something new. She summoned Eli. This time, she did not chain him. He stood before her, tired but calm. "You saw me in your dream, didn't you?" he asked. The Queen didn't reply. Instead, she stepped closer. "What are you doing?" "To me?" she asked softly. Eli shook his head. "I don't know. Maybe you're waking up." The Queen didn't like mystery, but this human, this fragile, soft creature, had cracked something open inside her. And now, she couldn't close it. In the lower chambers of the palace, the council was growing restless. News of the Queen's change had reached them. Her health was better. Her mood was lighter. Her presence warmer. Unnatural. Dangerous. "She is losing control," one elder said. "She is becoming attached," said another. "If the human is the reason, he must be removed," the leader growled. But the Queen was no fool. She knew her enemies watched. That's why she ordered her most trusted guards to protect Eli in secret. The council would not touch him. Not yet. Later, the Queen returned to the lab. The lead scientist held a data crystal in trembling hands. "My Queen," he whispered, "your reproductive system has fully restarted. Your womb. Is preparing for something." She narrowed her eyes. "Preparing for what?" The scientist hesitated. "For life." The Queen walked alone through the crystal garden that night. Stars above. Silence around. She had ruled for 2 centuries. She had won wars, destroyed enemies, built an empire, but nothing ever shook her like this. A simple human, a soft smile, a quiet dream. And now, a spark of life inside her. Could it be possible? Was she becoming a mother? Behind her, a shadow moved. A blade glimmered. A silent assassin. From the council, sent to end the growing danger. But before the blade could strike, a blue flash erupted from the air. Eli stood between the Queen and the killer. He had escaped his guards. He had come looking for her. And he had saved her. The assassin was taken away. The Queen looked at Eli, truly looked. "You could have escaped," she said. Eli smiled. "I didn't want to leave. Not without knowing what this is." He pointed to her stomach. To the life growing inside her. In that moment, the Queen knew this was no accident. No curse. It was fate. But fate was dangerous in a world of power. Because now, everyone would try to break it. The Queen was smiling, not in public. Not in front of her warriors or the High Council, but in the silence of her chamber. With the human beside her. She smiled like a woman, not a ruler. This was dangerous, because in Trek's culture, a smiling queen meant weakness. Eli stood by the tall window of the Crystal Palace. He looked out at the glowing towers, the twin moons and the dark violet skies. "It's beautiful," he whispered. Queen Elzara nodded, standing behind him. "No," she said softly. "It was cold until you arrived." She placed her hand over her stomach. The small pulse was stronger now. She was changing. Faster than expected, and the palace walls could feel it too. Far below the queen's chamber, in a hidden room, 6 alien elders sat in shadows. Their faces were marked with glowing scars, signs of age and power. They spoke in a dead language, quiet and sharp. The queen is no longer herself, one said. She dreams. She touches the human. She carries. A mistake, another hissed. The bloodline must remain pure. The elder leader tapped the table once. Then we act. Meanwhile, in the medical chamber, Eli lay inside a scanner again. The machines glowed. Red and gold. A young alien healer watched in awe. His cells, she whispered to herself. They listened to emotion. As Eli thought of Earth, the machines warmed. As he thought of the queen, his heart beat faster. The machines responded. He was not just human anymore. He was becoming something else. That night, Queen Elzara stood before her throne. The council had called for a private meeting. The air was cold, the mood sharp. You are hiding something, said one elder. I am protecting something. The queen replied, your body is unstable. You are different, another said. Elzara stepped down from her throne. I am stronger than I have ever been, and I have chosen to evolve. The elders did not respond, but in their silence was rage. One whispered, then we shall evolve without her. Later, as Elzara returned to her chamber, she felt wrong. The hallway lights flickered. The air was heavy. She reached the door, but stopped. Inside, she heard screaming. She burst in. Eli was on the ground, choking, eyes wide. 2 guards stood over him with dark weapons glowing. Stand down! The queen screamed. They hesitated. She blasted both into the wall with one wave of her hand. Her power had grown. Even she felt it. She ran to Eli. His skin was cold, his breathing shallow. She placed her hands on his chest, and for the first time, she cried, don't die now, not now. Her tears touched his skin, and his eyes snapped open, glowing faint gold. The pulse in her stomach surged. The bond between them deepened. Whatever this was, it was no longer just a pregnancy. It was transformation. Hours later, in secret, the queen met her most loyal general. I need protection, she said. For him. For the child. The general looked unsure. Your Majesty, if this goes further, you will be hunted. I already am. She looked toward the stars. I don't care what they say anymore. This child is not a threat. It is a bridge. But betrayal moves faster than truth. The 2 guards who attacked Eli? They were not acting alone. A spy from the council had been inside the queen's court for years, watching, waiting. Now, he moved silently through the lower levels of the palace, carrying a vial of poison. It had only one purpose: to end the future growing inside the queen. That night, Eli sat beside the queen on the garden balcony. I should leave, he said quietly. She shook her head. No, I'm stronger when you're near. But I'm not a king, I'm not a warrior, I'm just a man. The queen turned to him, gently placing his hand over her stomach. You are the father of the future. But below, the poison was already in her food, and the servant who brought it to her wore a mask of loyalty. The spoon was shaking. The queen never shook. Her hands had held the necks of traitors. Her fingers had crushed steel. But now, as she raised the golden spoon to her lips, her hand trembled. She felt cold. Then heat. Then nothing. The taste was sweet. Too sweet. She dropped the spoon. The bowl shattered on the floor, and so did her body. Queen Elzara collapsed. Her guards rushed in, but froze in fear. She was gasping, clawing at her stomach. Her skin glowed red. Her eyes rolled back. The unborn child inside her pulsed like a second heart, faster, louder, angrier. The queen whispered one word before losing consciousness. Eli. Eli heard the scream before the door even opened. A guard shouted. "The queen is dying." Eli ran. He didn't ask permission. He didn't wait for guards. He didn't care. He dropped to her side and grabbed her hand. Her skin was burning, but her lips moved. He leaned close. "She's dying too." She, the baby? Eli had no training. No tools, but he had instinct, and something more powerful, human. Desperation. He placed his hands on her stomach. He whispered to the child, though it could not hear, "Hold on. I'll save you both. Just hold on." He screamed for the healer, but most were gone, afraid of the queen's fall. Only one young alien girl arrived. She was shaking. "It's poison," she said. "Old council toxin. Very rare, very deadly." "Can you cure it?" She shook her head. "Not fast enough." Eli stood. His mind raced. "I need herbs. I need hate. I need ice." The healer blinked. "What kind of treatment is this?" "It's not treatment," Eli snapped. "It's Earth survival. Medicine." He grabbed herbs from the garden, ice from the cooling chambers, a torch from the wall. He began pressing cold against her veins, heat near her heart. Herbs crushed and pushed between her lips. It looked like madness, but slowly. Her breathing changed. Inside her body, something was fighting back, not just her immune system, but the child. The baby's pulse grew stronger. Pushed against the poison. Burned through it. The queen gasped and jolted upright, eyes glowing gold and white. Then everything went still. She was alive. Barely, but alive. Later, in the quiet chamber, she opened her eyes. Eli was still at her side. "You saved me," she said. Weakly. "No," Eli replied, his voice shaking. "We saved you." He looked at her stomach. "I think the baby helped." Elzara placed her hand gently on herself. "I felt her," she whispered. "She was angry, protective." "She?" Eli asked again. The queen nodded slowly. "She is not like us. Not like me, not like you. She's more." Word spread across the palace. The queen had survived poison. And the human had saved her. Some saw it as a miracle. Others saw it as a threat. That night, the queen stood at her balcony again. The stars were quiet. Eli stood beside her, silent. "What happens now?" he asked. The queen didn't answer at first. Then she said, "They will try again. Harder. Smarter. They want this child gone." Eli clenched his fists. "I won't let that happen." The queen looked at him, really looked. She saw no weapons. No armor, no titles, just a man, but something about him felt stronger than any soldier. "You are changing too," she said. Eli nodded. "I feel her," he whispered. "Sometimes. I see colors when I close my eyes. Sometimes I hear voices. But it's not scary. It feels like she's learning." The queen stepped closer. "She chose you," she said. "Before I even knew." Somehow she knew. Far below, in a dark part of the palace, a figure watched them through a long lens. He sent a message to the council. "The child has survived. The human grows stronger. We must act before the hybrid becomes unstoppable." Back in the chamber, the queen placed Eli's hand over her stomach again. He felt a warm thump once. Then again, then faster. And for just a moment, he thought he heard a voice in his mind. Tiny, clear, female. "Hello, father." The sky bled purple. It started slowly, just a strange color over the horizon. But in Trek's culture, purple skies meant one thing. War was coming. Queen Elzara stood at her balcony, watching the color twist and curl. Her hand rested on her stomach. The baby inside her was restless. "She knows," the queen whispered. "She feels the storm too." Behind her, Eli paced the chamber. "This place is too quiet," he said. "Something is wrong." He was right, because far below them, the council had moved. In the shadows beneath the palace, Ancient doors opened for the first time in a century. Dark armor, silent steps, no banners, no warnings, only one mission, and the queen, and the child, and the human. The council no longer hid their fear. They saw what Eli was becoming. They saw what the unborn child might become. And they feared power that didn't come from their bloodline. They called it corruption. But it was evolution. The first explosion hit the eastern gate. Light, heat, screams, palace alarms began to scream. Like dying beasts. The queen spun around. Guards. But half were gone, loyal only to the council. Betrayal was here. From inside. Eli grabbed a weapon, a long alien spear. He barely knew how to use, but instinct burned in his blood now. His eyes were sharper, his hearing clearer, and his courage unshakable. A group of rebels burst into the hall. Eli stepped between them and the queen. One aimed a plasma cannon at her. Eli didn't think. He just moved. He threw the spear straight through the attacker's chest. The queen stared. "Where did you learn that?" Eli's voice was calm. "I didn't." She handed him another weapon, this time a blade of pure energy. More rebels came. Eli fought like he'd been born on this planet. Every move was fast. Every hit precise. It was as if someone was guiding him or something. From deep inside her womb, the child was awake. She didn't have a voice yet. But she had will, and her father heard her in his bones. "Protect her," she whispered in his mind. "Protect my mother." The queen unleashed her own power, a wave of light and gravity that crushed the marble floor beneath her feet. Walls cracked. Enemies screamed, but for everyone they stopped. 3 more appeared. The palace was falling. They reached the throne room, their last stronghold. The queen fell to her knees, holding her stomach. "She's in pain," Eli said, running to her. Sighed. "No," the queen whispered. "She's changing." The child's heartbeat was loud now, like a drum inside a storm. The walls began to pulse with the same rhythm, and then she reached out. A glowing wave erupted from the queen's body, soft, but full of pressure. Every rebel inside the palace stopped moving, eyes wide, hands shaking. Some dropped their weapons. Others simply fell unconscious. The child had protected them. Without ever being born. Silence returned. Smoke filled the air. Eli knelt beside the queen. She was breathing, but barely. "Don't leave me," he whispered. "I won't," she said, smiling weakly. "She's too strong." "We both are." Outside, the rebels were gone, fled, defeated. But the council was not finished. Far away, in a dark temple, they lit a black flame. "We cannot kill the child," the elder whispered. "Then we will seal her, before she is born." Back in the palace, Eli stood looking over the ruined throne room. His clothes were torn, his face bloodied, but his eyes were calm. He turned to the queen. "I think she saved us." The queen nodded. "She saved us. And she sent a message." They looked toward the stars. The war had begun, but so had something greater, a new kind of life, not alien, not human. Something beyond. The child spoke before she was born. Not with words, not with sound, but with dreams. Eli floated inside a quiet space. No sky, no ground, just golden light all around. In front of him stood a little girl. She had the queen's glowing eyes, but Eli's quiet smile. She didn't move her lips, but he heard her clearly. "You're afraid," she said. "But I'm not." "Why?" Eli asked. "Because I was made from love and war, from a dying queen and a lost man. I'm not meant to survive. I'm meant to change everything." Eli woke up gasping. The queen was still sleeping, her breath slow, her skin pale. She hadn't stood in 3 days. The palace was quiet now. No more rebels, no more alarms, only whispers, whispers that the queen was dying, that her child was cursed, that the human was cursed too. Eli stood at the window, hands clenched. He wasn't a doctor, not a warrior, not a king. He was just a man. But maybe that's why the child chose him. He still had hope. Down in the crystal chamber, the queen's body lay inside a healing shell. Her organs were failing, too fast for the machines to fix. She's burning from the inside, the healer said softly. The baby is growing too quickly, too powerful. Her body wasn't built for this. Eli sat beside her, holding her hand. Why didn't you tell me? He asked her. Her voice was weak, but still sharp. Because you would have tried to save me. I am trying, he said. And that's the problem, she whispered. You can't save all three of us. That night, the queen's spirit left her body for a moment. She found herself walking in that golden space, and there, once again, was the child. You have to let me be born, the girl said. But I don't want to kill you. Then don't, the queen said. I don't know how. The child looked scared for the first time, and the queen held her. I know what it means. To be alone, you won't be. The dream ended. Eli sat beside her as she woke, tears in his eyes. She's not just powerful, he said. She's kind. The queen smiled faintly. She got that from you. The palace system suddenly lit up with a warning. An energy wave was building in the queen's womb. Too strong. Too unstable. The child wanted out. Now. The healer gave Eli one final option. There's a way to transfer your life force, she said. To slow the queen's decay. To let the child be born safely. But I might die, Eli said. She nodded. Or both you and the queen die, and the child never lives. He didn't answer right away. Instead, he went to the queen's side. She looked at him, knowing. You always run into fire, she said. I never ran, Eli said. I fell into you. He placed his hand over her heart. The chamber filled with light. Memories passed between them, Earth and Trex, war and peace, dreams and fears. And in that final moment, Eli gave her what no machine could. Time. Her skin turned bright gold. Her eyes opened wide. She screamed, not in pain, but in release. And from her womb, a sphere of light burst upward. The child was being born, not in blood, but in energy. Queen collapsed. The room went still. Eli dropped to the floor, breathless, barely alive. And in the center of the chamber, a small child floated in the air. Golden eyes, pale silver skin, glowing hands. She looked at them both. She said one word, Mother. Then she looked at Eli. She said nothing, but her tears told him. She knew what he gave. She was born without crying. No blood, no pain, no scream. Just light. The child floated above the healing table, glowing, breathing, silent. Eyes open. Watching. Knowing. Around her, the world held its breath. Even the machines slowed down. Even time felt softer. Eli lay on the floor, eyes closed, his hand outstretched toward the queen. He was pale, still, fading. He had given everything. The queen, still weak, reached out and took his hand. You're still here, she whispered. But Eli didn't answer. The child turned to them, and without speaking, she stepped down from the air. Her small feet touched the cold floor. She walked, not like a newborn, but like someone who remembered 1,000 lives. She knelt beside Eli. Her glowing hand touched his chest, and for a moment, his heart beat once more. But just once. No more. The queen screamed, not in rage, not in power. In love. In grief. She had ruled empires, but now, she was just a woman who lost the man who saved her, the man who gave her a future. The child leaned into her. I'm sorry, she said in a whisper only the queen could hear. But I couldn't keep him. That night, the stars over Trex shifted. The people saw lights falling from the sky. Thousands of them. Some thought it was a storm. Some believed it was war. But the queen knew. It was Eli. returning to the universe. As something greater. Child stood before the high council the next day. She was only 1 day old, but her voice carried across the chamber like thunder wrapped in silk. I am the child of two worlds, she said. You tried to kill me. You tried to kill them, but I survived. One elder raised his voice. You are not royalty. The child looked at him, and he fell to his knees without a word, not from fear, but from understanding. The queen stood beside her daughter. I no longer need to rule, she said. This child is the new voice, the new law, the new light. And so it was. The child named Elia was crowned not as queen, but as bridgekeeper, a being who would unite Earth and Trex, a ruler not of war, but of memory. Years passed. The queen lived, quiet and peaceful. No throne. No army. Just gardens, stories, and Elia's laughter. Sometimes she would see Eli in her dreams. Not dead. Just far away. And Elia? She grew quickly, faster than any being in history. At age 5, she spoke every known language. At age 6, she floated between stars without a ship. At age 7, she sent a signal to Earth. Just 4 words: human and alien. One future. Back on Earth, they heard it. And they responded, not with warships, but with hope. And in the deepest part of space, where stars are born, a voice could still be heard. Soft, steady, strong. I didn't die, Eli whispered in the child's heart. I just became part of you. And that was enough.